Moving right along with our Guilds of Ravnica set review, we're jumpstarting this episode with the Izzet cards. Let's go. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Commanding Magic. It's Season 3, Episode 1.2. Travis and Brandon coming back at you with some more Guilds of Ravnica set reviews. What guild are we going over in this episode, Brandon?
The Izzet League.
The Izzet? Is it the Izzet? I don't know.
Is it?
We'll find out.
That's such an easy joke.
I know. I'm pretty sure that every content creator has made that joke before. But what I'll tell you what it is Ral Izzet Viceroy. This is our blue-red planeswalker. 5 mana, comes with 5 loyalty. Looking like a creeper, I think.
Let's just, before we say anything, so compare this to Ral Zarek's original artwork.
Sure.
Way back to Dragon's Maze.
Sure. I think it's a fair comparison. But oddly enough, typing in Ral into Gatherer brings up 232 results. Is it Ral hyphen?
Nope, just Ral space Zarek.
Let me. Oh, is. Boy, what a way to start an episode. Here we go. I really like the original artwork for Ral Zarek.
Oh yeah, but no, seriously, it looks like he's gotten younger.
It does. You're right. That might just be the lighting from the picture, but I think you definitely have a point. Anyway,
what kind of crazy magic has he been using?
Not the
Boros magic, the Bolas magic.
That was last episode. But for +1 loyalty, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other one into your graveyard. I like that quite a bit. Okay. I like being able to filter through my hand. I like graveyard synergies. This helps you out with your Past in Flames type strats, and it helps you out with flashback strats or anything else that might take advantage of your graveyard in those colors.
I mean, it helps with the mechanic that's the Izzet mechanic in the set.
Yeah, or if you even... Oh, right, that's true too. Or if you even want to toss... black into the mix and start tossing creatures into your graveyard, you know? But for -3, Ral Izzet Viceroy deals damage to target creature equal to the total number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. So the +1 fuels the -3 to an extent.
Right.
And playing the game also fuels it, right? So that's cool. And then at -8, you get an emblem with, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target and you draw 2 cards. This is a very good ultimate. So let's see.
This is very good. It's not doubling something. It's not taking extra turns like before.
That's what we're used to, right? Just from blue-red in general. But I don't know. I like that a lot. Being able to deal 4 damage to any target, which 4 damage starts to add up once you're just slinging spells. Lightning Bolt, Shock, Ponder, Preordain.
Right. That's an immediate clock if your opponent's at 20.
But then it also just refuels your hand.
Right.
All those cheap spells you just cast,
Ponder,
have some
Preordain,
more.
Brainstorm.
Yeah, have some more. I think this card has some potential in the blue-red spells deck. And I think... Like I said before, I think it could also have some good utility in a deck that incorporates black. So Grixis and this, but this might just be reaching. I don't know.
Right.
But is Niv Mizzet Parun reaching, Brandon?
It's Niv Mizzet.
It's
Niv Mizzet. Blue, red.
It's a good mana cost.
Or a Dragon Wizard. As shocked by Travis because Travis didn't know that.
For some reason I missed that.
So he's a 5/5, flying, can't be countered. Whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet deals 1 damage to any target. That's like his original ability, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
But he's got new text where whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. Your Ponder, Preordains, Brainstorms, Bolt, whatever draws you a card.
Yeah, Ral Izzet Paragon and this card work really well together.
But also, whenever your opponents start casting stuff to exile or do anything, you start drawing cards.
Yeah, I think that's the
And
important
then you
thing
draw that card, and then you deal a damage to something.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing to recognize here is that it's when a player casts an instant or sorcery.
Now, do I
so
think
it's
these
funny.
as good as the original? No.
So a funny, what is it?
Funny.
Type that. How many results was that? Oh, it should be down here. What about Rurik Thar, Brandon?
What about Rurik Thar?
Rurik Thar says whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Rurik Thar deals 6 damage to that player. But Niv Mizzet, whenever a player casts a spell, you draw a card. So it's this funny like rivalry that I'm making up in my head, where Rurik Thar is the jock football player, and Niv Mizzet is the book smart kid at the school. The book smart kid just benefits from watching the things around him, and then Rurik Thar just hates that. I don't know.
I can see it.
The weird things that come up.
I also just want to point out, completely just has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about, but the background art, the earring on the Izzet Guild Mage, looks like the Phyrexian symbol.
Where?
I mean,
I don't see it.
Her earring.
Oh yeah, you're right. Check that out. Right up there.
But that has nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
I can almost guarantee. I do not think that's an Easter egg. Maybe some cheeky artist, the cheeky artist that put League Guild Mage in, which is the next card we're going to talk about. Svetlin Velinov, cool name by the way,
has done, artwork for Scars of Mirrodin and stuff like that.
So, I don't know. Do you know? I don't know that.
I don't.
But it would be cool if that was a little thing that they threw in there just because. League Guild Mage being our Izzet Guild Mage for the set, being 2 for a 2/2, and then for 4 mana tapping, draw a card, and then X and tapping. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control with converted mana and cost extra less. You may choose new targets for the copy. I honestly could not tell you what the other Guild Mages were, other than Izzet Guild Mage. What was the one from the last one?
Nivix Guild Mage?
Nivix, that's what it was. I'm going to type Nivix G. Oh, yeah. I know this card.
One of them red, draw a card, then discard a card. Great.
Yeah.
And then copy again.
Yeah, 4, but it's 4, and you can do it over and over because he doesn't have to tap.
Right.
They're making Guild Mages worse.
Man. I mean, even the original Izzet Guild Mage on it's both copying something.
Oh, and for 3 mana each? And it has the benefit of its casting cost being a hybrid.
Right, but they have to cost 2 or less.
Okay, so I don't know. Who knows?
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, but maybe Nivix Guild Mage is the strongest here.
Maybe? I mean,
because
3 and a blue tap draw card from League Guild Mage is awful.
Yeah.
So
the copying a thing, though, isn't repeatable.
Right. So if I had to play one of the 3, I'd be playing the Nivix Guild Mage if I absolutely had to play something.
Yeah, me too. Although I think Izzet Guild Mage is charming. As a card.
I mean, you start casting your electrolyzes.
That's right.
And then you can pay both your 2 in a blue and a 2 in a red.
Mm-hmm.
So
getting into our double card, our double card that's a rare for the Izzet League, Brandon.
Expansion and Explosion.
Ooh.
So, blue and a red hybrid, there's 2 of them, for an instant. Copy target instant or sorcery spell with CMC 4 or less. You may choose new targets. Okay, I'll take that for 2. Most of the things I'm going to want to copy are that cheap, at least.
Yeah.
So you can at least copy your copies, so you can copy more times.
There's a lot of ways to copy spells in the game, but I like that this is just, it's hybrid mana, so it's red or blue, and it's an instant speed. And I don't know, just there's a lot of spells that cost 4 or less that are really potent in those colors.
If you're casting something, say you're just copying Time Warp, right? So you twin cast, so you copy it, but you obviously can't copy that with expansion, so you just copy your twin cast, right? And then copy it again.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I didn't think of it that way. I was thinking of just even things as simple as I don't know, like this may be just stupid, but I just want to think about something silly for this situation. Copying copying
Char.
char, yes. Just copying char, you know? So you're paying
Yeah.
5 mana to deal 8 damage to 2 targets and then 4 damage to yourself and commander. That's not that big of a deal at all.
Right.
And then if you're playing for on the blue side of it, let's say the Madness draw spell that costs 4.
I have no idea.
Any draw spell. I don't know. Just any draw spell, really.
Yeah.
Or there's the Tezzeret's. It does the same thing, but it draws you Tezzeret's Gambit. You know,
Okay.
draw 2 cards and proliferate. So in this case, pay the Phyrexian, right? So you're paying
Right.
5 mana to draw 4 cards and then proliferating twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like that sort of small value spells. And when small, I
Yeah.
mean mana cost wise. But what about Explosion?
Explosion. X blue blue red red for an instant deals X damage to any target, and then target player draws X cards. Whew.
What's this like? There's a card that
It's
has
Invoke the
Mid-Mizzet in it.
Firemind.
Yeah. Invoke the. There has to be.
I love Invoke the Firemind.
Oh gosh, I hate this. There we go. Yeah. So Invoke the Firemind being 2 blue red X, choose 1, draw X or deal X.
So what you
this
do?
one. Go ahead.
What you do though with Invoke the Firemind is you have the original Niv-Mizzet out, and you get both. You don't have to choose one.
Oh yeah. Okay. I see.
I mean,
gotcha.
you still choose one, but technically you get both
Yeah. I gotcha.
because you're drawing cards and dealing damage.
The next card is something that we're used to seeing in Izzet at this point. This is Crackling Drake. This is double blue, double red for a star 4 Drake. It has flying, and then its power is equal to the number of instants and sorceries you own and in exile and in your sorry. Crackling Drake's power is equal to the total number of instants and sorceries you own, exile, and in your grip. Having and twice
It's the
in a
exile
sentence.
card
Having
that makes that weird to say.
Having and twice in a sentence is like a cardinal sin for me. I hate that. And then when Crackling Drake enters the battlefield, draw a card. That is the cherry
it.
on top. That's the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake. I like this card a lot. And I like a lot of cards that have similar effects to this, just to peek into the thesaurus. Enigma Drake and Spellheart Chimera, and then the granddaddy Magnivore. But I love cards that do this. I've never really used a deck that fully unlocked the potential of all these cards, but this card would definitely be on the top of my list as far as cards that with this effect go, because of that entering the battlefield and drawing a card exclusively, pretty much.
I mean, because you can just start abusing that with blink bounce effects.
Yeah, especially if you go into white.
Right, because that's also fueling its power when you're casting those, right?
That's right. Izzet Locket, as we talked in the previous episode, is in the line of Lockets. 3 adds 1 of the Izzet colors. For 4 hybrid, you draw 2 cards, and that's it. Tell us about the uncommon double card here, Brandon.
Invert and Invent. So you got 1 hybrid, red or blue. For an instant, switch the power and toughness of each of up to 2 target creatures. I think this got errated.
Did it?
Something on here with this card got errated. I think it might be the Invent part. So can you check the Gatherer text for me real quick?
Yes. I can. For Invent?
For both of them.
Okay. All right. So the Oracle text for Invert says, switch the power and toughness of each of up to 2 target creatures until end of turn.
Yeah, see, on the actual card, it doesn't say until end of turn.
Oh. How?
Because...
Ooh, man.
Right. No, that card was fantastic without that end of turn clause.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even think of that. That would have been unbelievable for 1 mana.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny. So
I mean, it
just
can still
to
kill something that has 0 power.
Just to show everybody here, this Oracle text here does say, switch the power nodes. I don't have a scroll bar here. Yeah, until each of up to 0 creatures until the end of the turn. Whatever. It's just the way I have OBS set up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good catch on that one.
So anyway, invent 4 blue and a red instant. Search your library for an instant and or sorcery card. Reveal them. Oh, okay, and or so you can get both.
Mm-hmm.
And reveal them and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library.
I mean, that's a combo enabler, is what that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you get your Past in Flames. You get your whatever else. I mean, in the deck that we're theoretically building, just going through this set, the spells deck, that's pretty sweet.
Yep. But still, a little salty over the fact that Invert had to hit that errata, and that had to happen because that's fantastic for just 1 mana, but still, it's a good card.
Something that I'm not salty about is 1,000-Year Storm, which is a really cool name by itself. But for a 6 mana enchantment, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant and sorcery spell you've cast before it this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies.
It's just Storm.
It gives everything Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Storm.
Me neither.
This card's okay.
It is.
I mean, I'm not going to run this just for the pure that it's too combo-y.
I don't think I'm smart enough to run this.
I mean, I could do it. I could pull it off.
1,000-year... I wanted to say 1,000-Year Door, like the Paper Mario game.
Oh.
1,000-Year Storm, Sphinx Bone Wand, the other one that's like Sphinx Bone Wand.
Right.
From
a Jar of Eyeballs.
Jar of Eyeballs.
Like that. I don't know. I'm thinking of something.
I think you're thinking of something, but that's not it. So Sphinx Bone Wand being that artifact that I really hope that'd be easier to find here. Being the 7-mana artifact that says whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, you may put a charge counter on Sphinx Bone Wand. If you do, Sphinx's Bone Wand deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it to target creature or player. There's another card that is eluding my memory right now from the last set that we reviewed that does something similar but not as good. Either way, green red. Yeah, the green red spells deck. The blue red spells deck is real. Is Firemind's Research real, Brandon?
Firemind's Research. Ooh, we got a blue and a red for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Firemind's Research. Okay. 1 in a blue, remove 2 charge counters, draw a card. Sounds good to me.
Sure.
1 in a red, remove 5 charge counters, deals 5 damage to any target. Sorry, but I'm only going to be using that first ability. Sorry to tell you.
I don't think this card's very good.
No?
I like the charge counters and everything, but...
It goes great with your 1,000-Year Storm.
So I get where you're coming from with that, but if you're building this deck, the 1,000-Year Storm, Sphinx Bone Wand, Crazy Spells deck, I think this card just doesn't make the cut. Because you have to do more than just have it be in play for it to do something.
Yeah.
Whereas 1,000-Year Storm and Sphinx Bone Wand...
enchantments that come out and do literally nothing.
Yeah, that is actually a mutual pet peeve that we each have. Like, if it doesn't come out and give you instant value, then you really have to think hard about including it in your 99 because a lot of times, especially if it's good, it comes out and then it gets spot removed. So, something that doesn't get spot removed is Ionize, the 3 mana instant that counters target spell and deals 2 damage to that spell's controller.
I love it. That's all me right there. Hey.
Yeah, the flavor's there. I think that's where it ends for me.
I mean, I like it. I like that. That's all me in a card right there.
Sure. That's fair. Is quasi-duplicate everything you thought it would be in more?
No, not really. 1 blue sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Jumpstart. It's the first time we've seen this mechanic.
Shite.
You almost did it. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost, then exile this card. I love Jumpstart.
I've lost to Jumpstart abilities in draft more times than I care to mention.
It's so silly. I mean, when you're playing with not 40 life and you're playing a little bit longer games, you can just recurring the spells without a Jumpstart so they're not getting exiled. You can just go silly.
I mean, discarding a card from your hand really presents a little bit of a risk factor because
not if you're discarding more cards with Jumpstart.
I mean, that's fair. But something that does pose a risk factor is this next card. Risk factor. It's a 3-mana instant that says target opponent may have risk factor, deal 4 damage to them. If that player doesn't, you draw 3 cards.
I'm sorry, but every time you cast this against me, I'm going to make it deal 4 damage to me. I'm not
I
going to
absolutely will.
Cards.
Yeah, no way. Not for 3 mana. No way. You think you're going to get a divination +1? No. No way. And then the jumpstart. I mean,
I don't care if you're dealing 8 damage to me.
So, I mean, this card goes in the family of cards like Book Burning, right? The giving the other player an option to have a detriment to them in order to prevent you from getting something positive. Another more modern incarnation of this would be Combustible Gear Hulk.
Yeah. It's just about card advantage, though.
Yep. I think that this card is actually quite good in Commander. I don't actually think this card is very good in Commander because I think that it's really easy for players to say, yeah, I'll take 4 damage.
Yeah. I mean, might that bite you in the butt later? Sure.
Because out of what it's possible for the other, you the red-blue player, the things you could draw when you're drawing 3 cards, right?
For 3 mana?
Yeah. And then who knows? Maybe you draw. Okay. Go.
So you let me draw my 3 cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in my graveyard now, and I've got 3 more mana open. Jumpstart it. Get 3 more cards. Discarding one of the cards that I drew a land out of that 3. Discard it, and then I can draw 3 more cards if you don't let me deal 4 damage to you.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. So, there we go. A good or bad case for a risk factor have been made depending on how you feel about it. What about Kevin Bacon Bolt?
Bacon Bolt. Oh man. So 1 a blue and a red for a sorcery. Bacon Bolt deals damage to target creature equal to the total number of instant and or sorcery cards you own in exile and in graveyard, and then jumpstart.
Izzet this set has an extreme emphasis on what's in your graveyard.
So I had this cast on me in Arena the other day.
Yeah.
I think you were watching that match. So I had dinosaurs, right? And
I cast it against you.
No, because I was down to 1, I think, against a blue-red deck. And they went to kill, I think, the dinosaur that makes you destroy your own permanent when it takes damage. And he had counted his cards in his graveyard, which included this, so he thought he had lethal, but as soon as he cast it, it went to exile. It wasn't in his graveyard anymore.
No.
So it didn't do lethal, so he ended up losing the match because I had the win on the swing back because he had the 2 Firebirds.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Be
careful.
I remember that I cast this on you and I jump-started it, and I think it was 7 the first time and 9 the second time, and I still lost to dinosaurs.
I don't remember. I don't remember one of those games you played.
That deck that I
very fast.
That deck that I built was just garbage. Something that's not garbage, or maybe it is, I don't know, is Beam Splitter Mage. Beam Splitter Mage, the 2 for a 2/2 Vidalcan wizard. Vidalcan's here on the old Ravnica. I don't know how common that is.
They've always been there.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Beam Splitter Mage, if you control one or more other creatures that spell could target, choose one of those creatures, copy this spell. Okay, maybe this card is bad. I was just trying to get a good segue there.
So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets only this card, if you control more targets, copy it for those targets.
Yeah, this card is one of those targets. Yeah, so let's copy one of those targets.
What do you want to cast on this guy, though?
Nothing. This card reminds me of Mirrorwing Dragon because I thought Mirrorwing Dragon was really good too until I realized that it wasn't.
So how about Chemister's Insight, though?
Chemister's Insight. Tell us about Chemister's Insight.
3 and a blue for an instant. Draw 2 cards. Jumpstart.
It's our 4 mana. It's our 4 mana draw 2 for the set.
Right.
With the quirk of the set, you know.
Right. Which it's fine.
Yeah. I think Jumpstart makes it. Okay, so you have this card that has Jumpstart, so you're discarding a card to get those extra 2 cards.
Right.
You have the Tezzeret card that I brought up earlier that proliferates for you, so you're paying 4 to draw 2 cards. There's, I just remember the name, Deep Analysis. Deep Analysis, as I call it. Deep Analysis, which allows you to get to cast it again, except at the cost of 3 life, but 2 less mana to draw 2 cards. I'm pretty sure there was one in Kaladesh that gave you 2 energy and drew you 2 cards.
Glimmer of Genius.
Glimmer of Genius, nice.
It also lets you scry.
I'm gonna type Glimmer of G. It worked.
But Glimmer of Genius is much better than this card, in my opinion, because it lets you scry.
Yeah, the scry is the big thing here. What's the other one? The vanilla one, 4C? That's the other. It's not 4C? I could have sworn that it was.
What are you thinking of?
Draw 2 cards and scry 2. It's just draw 2 cards, scry 2.
I have no idea. I legitimately don't know. Oh yeah, it is 4C.
Oh, I left a letter out.
It's scry 4 though.
Oh, scry 4. So I mean, so each iteration of this card can play into a different type of deck. There may be some crossover, but as far as Chemist's Insight goes, I like being able to just pitch a blank or pitch something that you can eventually use later.
Just another jumpstart card, like we've said.
It could be. We've got a reprint of We Dragonauts, which is really cool.
It's a good card.
Direct Current, which is fine. Goblin Electromancer reprint.
Hold on. Direct Current is not fine.
Why is
1 red for 2 damage?
And then Jumpstart.
Come on.
Okay, I guess I got killed in draft by this 2 times.
Okay.
So that's why I'm salty about it.
God awful.
Or that's why I think it's fine. But yeah, at sorcery speed, maybe it's not that great. So perhaps I stand corrected here.
Gravatic Punch is much better than Direct Current. Doing a completely different thing.
And really cool artwork too. What is that? Ral?
I don't think so.
No, kind of looks like him.
I think it's just some kind of Izzet mage. I almost said Izzet mage.
That damn Izzet mage. He's gotten all hypothesized over there.
Can we just talk about hypothesizal real quick?
We sure can, Brandon.
So 3 and a blue and a red for an instant, draw 2 cards, and you may discard an online card. When you do, hypothesizal deals 4 damage to target creature. You just got hypothesized.
Yeah, and then you discard. I mean, this is a broken record episode. Just discard a sorcery, discard a jumpstart. It just goes.
Yep.
Maximize Altitude is a cool name.
Maximize altitude, maximize velocity.
That's cool. Piston Fist Cyclops is 3, so 2 of it hybrid for a 4/3 with Defender, and then as long as you cast an instant or sorcery, it can attack as long as it didn't have Defender. This card isn't necessarily super great, but that artwork is awesome, and I just want to talk about it really quick because Nate wants to make a machine-based deck, a steampunky machine-based type of deck. And so he saw this card. This is one of the cards where he said, whoa.
You're going to make him run a Nivik Cyclops too, right?
For sure. I'd even say that's a radical idea, Brandon.
Now, I like Radical Idea more than I do whatever it was called from earlier. Chemist's Insight.
Do you?
I do, because 1 and a blue, draw a card, jumpstart.
What do you like better?
You can do it earlier.
What do you like it better? Radical Idea or Think Twice? So 1 more mana, but you don't have to sacrifice a card from your hand. Sacrifice being used as just a word to mean discard. I don't know. Hard to say.
I played Think Twice, probably.
Depends on the deck you're playing, perhaps.
Right. But still, for 1 and a blue, draw a card, it's okay. I mean, it's fair. It's fair magic.
Sure. New art for Steam Vents, as we went over before. Pretty cool. Really quickly, showing off the Izzet Guildgate art. Pretty cool. What about Omni Spell Adept, Brandon? Tell me about Omni Spell Adept.
Yeah. This is my kind of card right here. 4 and a blue, Human Wizard. It's 3/4. 2 and a blue, tap. You may cast an instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of?
Oh,
man. What is it? Oh, gosh.
What is it?
It is something. Oh crap.
What does it do?
Artifact. Put an artifact. Return an artifact you control to your hand to put an artifact into play.
I have no idea.
It is. I'm typing as feverishly as I can.
I can tell.
How is there nothing with that? It's blue. It's one of the Ethereum people. You can just cheat artifacts into play with it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know which card you're talking about.
You know the artwork too, right?
I do. I know the promo artwork too. Oh man!
From your hand into play onto the battlefield. Maybe it goes by Oracle text.
I'm trying to think of what set it came out in.
It's blue. It costs 4. It's from original Mirrodin. It might be Dark Steel.
Are you sure?
Yep, I got it. Master Transmuter. That's
that. Boop. That took a while.
Yeah. 4 mana for a 1/2, 1 tap, return an artifact you control your hand to put an artifact from your hand into play.
That's from Alara.
Oh, you're right. It is. You're totally right. I'm an idiot. Got him. I got myself. That's what happened. Yeah. Anyway, it's not totally a 1-to-1, but that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Right.
And I couldn't tell you why. In before comment saying that's nothing like that.
How about Drowned Secrets, Travis?
Drowned Secrets is our 2-mana enchantment. This is whenever you cast a blue spell, target player mills 2.
Okay. It does nothing until you cast a spell.
Yeah.
It has to be a blue spell.
We got a rarity upgrade on Narcomoeba, which is stupid.
God forbid we had this out uncommon.
Yeah. We have a card called Guild Summit here, which is only semi-relevant.
You discard Narcomoeba to your jump starts, right?
Oh, yeah, sure, I suppose.
Or no, you can't, but it won't come back. That's your library. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. So it would, in a deck like Sidisi, this card would be good. I don't run this in Sidisi because I don't think the value is necessarily there. But I think this card was due for a reprint.
Yeah. So about Guild Summit.
Guild Summit is a 3-mana enchantment that says when it enters the battlefield, you may tap any number of untapped gates you control to draw a card for each untapped gate. For each gate tapped this way, whenever gate enters the battlefield, you draw a card. They're really ramping up the efficiency for gate decks, the Maze Runner decks, which I feel there's never been a better time to build the deck.
We could still get more support in the next set.
That's right.
So I want to point out something that I neglected to on 1,000 Year Storm.
Okay.
This is a story spotlight card.
Oh.
So the thing about that they changed is they're no longer numbering story spotlight cards to not spoil the story. So.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
They just put the Planeswalker symbol on it?
Mm-hmm. And they put the story spotlight at the bottom of the card. And that's it. So.
Okay, well.
When is this happening in the story? Tune in later to find out.
For a sequencing reasons, I suppose it's whatever, but something that has nothing to do with sequencing is Murmuring Mystic. The 4-mana
card.
The 4-mana 1/5 that says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, could have 1/1 blue bird illusion creature token with flying.
Go into the bird deck.
I think it might, but I have to see how many instants or sorceries in there.
Mm-hmm.
I
feel like you need to be running a critical mass to make him worth it. I'm sorry.
It screams young pyromancer to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as good.
It's expensive though.
It is. It really is. The only upside here is that the birds have flying.
Mm-hmm.
Critical mass is not a card.
Sorry.
I thought you were referring to a card. Sorry.
No, I was referring to like you have a lot.
Okay, I thought you were trying to segue into something.
And sorceries.
Sure. You've selectively snared me.
X and a blue for a sorcery. Return X target creatures of the creature type of your choice to their owner's hand Target, the 1/1 soldiers that are all tokens.
Yeah, that's what this
boom,
card is here
they're
for.
gone for good.
That's what that's there for.
So this is a good card.
Yeah, I think it's pretty sweet. We have a reprint
How
of
about
Disdainful.
Capture Sphere instead of Detention Sphere.
You mean Pokeball? The 4-mana aura with Flash. This is whenever it enters the battlefield. Tap enchanted creature, and enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step.
So I really like how we get... I mean, there's 10 guilds in Ravnica, right?
Correct.
We only had the 5. We're getting the other 5 in the next set. But they, sprinkled in cards here and there with the flavor of other guilds. Because this is a very Azorius flavored card right
here. Oh,
here.
yeah. I see what you mean.
So, yeah.
New art.
And we'll get to a few later that are Gruul and stuff like that.
New artwork for Disdainful Stroke. Pretty cool.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
Frog.
Yeah. Looking. Reprint of Chromatic Lantern. And that's it. That's Izzet. That's all it is. That's all it is. And we'll round this off here with the Mythic Edition of Guilds of Ravnica, Izzet Viceroy, which has much better artwork.
Oh yes.
In my opinion, unfortunately so.
He still looks much younger.
He does.
Like, there's no lighting you can blame on this card.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what's going on here?
Yeah, who knows?
Is he going back in time slowly?
I don't know.
Is he de-aging?
Is this Benjamin Button? What's happening here? But anyway, that's been Commanding Magic's review of the Izzet Guild for Guilds of Ravnica. I don't know, man. Going through Boros and now having gone through Izzet, I think that they went a lot out of their way in this set to have a lot of really cohesive cards, and in a not tribal way.
Right. What in one of Mark Rosewater's articles, he explained that it's basically because of draft.
Oh, sure.
So you have red white and red blue. You could have the creatures from Izzet in that are just mono red in the red white deck, and you could be using spells and having the abilities cross between the guilds that they share colors with. Like Jumpstart works great in Boros, as it does in Dimir, as like what's the Undergrowth works really good with the Dimir mechanic.
That's right.
And stuff like that. That's why it's feeling like that. They went out of their way to make sure that the draft environment was really well, and it helped out everybody.
Yep, I agree. So that's going to do it for Commanding Magic's review of the Azorius, the Izzet Guild of Guilds of Ravnica. Stay tuned.
I can't wait to do the Azorius review.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the next part of the Guilds of Ravnica set review, where we slip into the shadows as we review the Dimir Guild.